Welcome back. Now we need to go over something that is really important, especially if you've not run any PowerShell commands on your machine before, and that is the PowerShell execution policy. So because of security reasons and because of how powerful PowerShell is, it can be used to do a lot of malicious things. In fact, if you try to download a PowerShell script off of the internet, typically your web browser will block it. So or at least flag it as a warning. And if it tries to run and the execution policy isn't set correctly, then you may need to change the execution policy to be able to run PowerShell scripts. So I'm going to go ahead and open PowerShell. All right, now that we're into PowerShell, let's go ahead and check what our execution policy is by typing get-execution policy, and it's set to remote signed right now on my machine. But typically it will be set to restricted if you haven't changed this already. So I'm going to change it to restricted and change it back just so you can see. And what we do to do that is type set execution policy restricted. And it'll want you to confirm that you're making this change. This might expose you to security risks, that kind of thing. Say yes. And it actually didn't let me do that, and that's because it didn't run PowerShell as administrator. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that as well. All right, so what we'll do is we'll find PowerShell. And what we want to do is right click it and click Run as Administrator. You'll see this user access control thing pop up. You'll want to click Yes. And that may not have been recorded, but that's what will happen to you when you go to run it. So we want to set execution policy restricted. We say yes. And now when we do get execution policy, we'll see that it's restricted. Now, you don't want it to be restricted, of course, but what you'll want to do is go back to set execution policy and do remote signed. And do OK. And if we check it again, if you press up, by the way, in PowerShell, you can go to previous commands. So you can see I can browse through these. Now, if we do get execution policy, we see that it's set to remote signed. This will allow us to run our own PowerShell scripts, which is what we're going to do in the next lesson, run our very first PowerShell script. All right, guys, see you in the next lesson.